Steph Curry is the greatest shooter God has ever created.
Hey, this is Stephen Curry. I heard it all and then had the game of my life. Felt like I couldn't miss.
Before he changed basketball forever, they said he was too small, too weak, and couldn't survive the NBA. And yet, he became the man who turned half-court shots into normal shots. The first unanimous MVP in NBA history. The face of a dynasty. The reason the entire league had to rewrite its playbook. 4 championships, countless records, a legacy built on skill, discipline, faith, and obsession with perfection. This isn't just a basketball story. This is how Stephen Curry redefined greatness and built a life of luxury by changing the game forever. Today, we're asking something deeper. How did Stephen Curry last this long at this level? Despite the injuries, the doubt, and the pressure of changing the game itself? Like and subscribe as we break it down. He was born on March 14, 1988, in Akron, Ohio. But his childhood unfolded mainly in Charlotte, North Carolina, where basketball was always nearby. His father, Del Curry, was an NBA sharpshooter, the kind of player whose name came with respect. As a child, Stephen followed him everywhere. NBA locker rooms, courtside seats, shoot-arounds before games. For many kids, that world would feel intimidating. For Stephen, it felt like home. But even surrounded by professionals, there was one thing he couldn't escape. He was small. While his father moved comfortably among giants, Stephen looked fragile next to them. He didn't have explosive speed or brute strength. What he did have was time. Hours spent watching, listening, and learning. He paid attention to footwork, balance, and rhythm. He noticed how shooters prepared themselves before the ball ever left their hands. At home, Stephen practiced wherever he could. The driveway became his sanctuary. The basketball was often too heavy, the hoop too high. But instead of waiting to grow stronger, he adapted. He altered his shooting motion to generate power from his legs. He released the ball faster. What started as necessity slowly became instinct. Without realizing it, he was shaping the shot that would one day rewrite basketball history. As he grew older, Stephen's love for the game hardened into discipline. At Charlotte Christian High School, he worked tirelessly, dribbling, shooting, studying angles and spacing. On the court, he was clever and skilled, sometimes dazzling, but scouts weren't convinced. They saw his height before they saw his heart. They saw a skinny frame and asked who he could guard, not how many shots he could make. The verdict from major college programs was almost unanimous: not good enough. Scholarship offers from powerhouse schools never came. Duke passed. North Carolina passed. Coaches admired his shooting but doubted his durability. It was a familiar refrain: too small, too weak, too risky. Each rejection could have chipped away at his confidence. Instead, Stephen internalized none of it. He had grown up watching his father endure the grind of professional basketball. He understood that talent wasn't enough. Belief had to be stubborn. While others waited for recognition, Stephen kept working, often alone. The gym lights didn't care who recruited him. The rim didn't care about scouting reports. All it demanded was repetition. When Davidson College finally offered him a scholarship, it felt less like a consolation prize and more like an invitation. Davidson didn't promise spotlight or fame. It offered a chance, something Stephen valued more than validation. He knew that if he could play, really play, the game would speak for him. That quiet confidence had always been there, built slowly over years of being overlooked. It was forged in empty gyms and long nights of doubt. Long before the NBA noticed him, Stephen Curry had already learned the hardest lesson in basketball and in life. You don't need permission to believe in yourself. The world would come to know him later, as a superstar, a champion, a revolutionary. But the foundation of that legacy was laid long before the applause, by a boy who refused to let his size define his ceiling. When Stephen Curry entered the NBA in 2009, there were no guarantees, only doubt. Too small, too skinny, too fragile. The Golden State Warriors selected him 7th overall, a move many questioned for a struggling franchise with no clear direction. Curry showed flashes immediately. His shooting range was undeniable, his handle smooth, his confidence clear. But recurring ankle injuries threatened his career before it truly began. Some wondered if he would even last in the league. Behind the scenes, Curry refused to fade. He rebuilt his body, strengthened his ankles, refined his mechanics, and committed fully to improvement. That persistence changed everything. When the Warriors finally placed their trust in him, Curry's impact became impossible to ignore. He didn't just shoot threes, he redefined them. Shots once considered reckless became routine. Defenders had to pick him up the moment he crossed half court. Entire defenses were designed to stop one player. The breakthrough came in 2015. Curry led the Warriors to an NBA championship and won the Most Valuable Player award, proving he wasn't just an elite shooter, he was a leader. The Warriors played faster, shared the ball, and shot more threes than ever before, with Curry at the center of it all. Then came a season for the ages. In 2015 to 2016, Curry shattered the single-season three-point record, led the Warriors to 73 wins, and became the first unanimous MVP in NBA history. There was no longer any debate. Stephen Curry had changed basketball. His influence reached far beyond championships. Teams redesigned offenses. Players at every level shot deeper. Playground games across the world began to look different. Curry inspired a new generation to play without limits. And the journey continued. Curry added more championships in 2017, 2018, and 2022, evolving into a steady leader through injuries, losses, and criticism. In 2022, he reached another defining moment, leading the Warriors back to the top and finally earning NBA Finals MVP, silencing the last remaining doubts. Today, Stephen Curry is widely regarded as the greatest shooter the game has ever seen. A champion, a record breaker, a game changer. Because greatness doesn't always look the way people expect. Stephen Curry doesn't just make money shooting basketballs, he makes money being Stephen Curry. Right now, most estimates place his net worth above $220 million, and a massive chunk of that comes off the court. In some years, Curry earns more from brand deals than from the NBA itself. The biggest money move? Under Armour. Stephen Curry's deal with Under Armour went far beyond sneakers. What started as a risky endorsement turned into one of the most powerful athlete partnerships ever. Over time, that deal has been valued at well over $200 million, including stock, royalties, and long-term payouts. He's not just a spokesperson, he's the president of Curry Brand, meaning every shoe sold keeps paying him, even while he sleeps. Then there's Hollywood. Through his production company, Unanimous Media, Curry signed major film and TV deals that bring in millions more every year, turning his life story and values into lasting income. Long after basketball ends, those checks keep rolling. Banks trust him. Tech companies want him. Global brands bet on him. From Chase Bank to Rakuten, from Google to lifestyle brands, Curry's endorsement portfolio earns him an estimated $30 to $50 million per year, sometimes even higher. That's money coming in without dribbling once. Put it all together, and Stephen Curry isn't just paid for performance, he's paid for influence. His brand deals move like his jumper: smooth release, perfect arc, and constant return. And when money flows that easily, the lifestyle that follows is pure luxury. But when you think of a man worth over $200 million, you might expect outrageous supercars lined up like trophies. But Curry's garage tells a different story. It's not about showing off. It's about balance, luxury, performance, comfort, and quiet power. Let's start with the car that best mirrors his shooting style, the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. This is not a casual car. It's a track-focused machine built for precision, just like Curry's jumper. With a screaming, naturally aspirated engine and razor-sharp handling, the The GT3 RS is designed for drivers who understand control. Depending on the year and configuration, this car costs between $160,000 and $220,000. It's fast, unforgiving, and technical. One mistake, and it reminds you who's in charge. Curry once had an accident in this very car, a moment that reportedly made him more cautious, but never less appreciative of performance. Then there's its more refined sibling, the Porsche Panamera Turbo S. If the GT3 RS is competition, the Panamera is command. This luxury sports sedan blends brutal speed with executive comfort. With a twin-turbo V8 under the hood, it moves like a missile but feels like a private jet on wheels. The Panamera Turbo S in Curry's garage is valued at around $180,000 to $200,000. It's the kind of car you drive when you want power without noise, dominance without drama. Now shift from speed to presence. The Mercedes-Benz G-Class, commonly known as the G-Wagon. Boxy, bold, unapologetic. The G-Wagon is luxury wrapped in military DNA. It doesn't blend in, it stands its ground. Curry's G-Class, depending on trim and year, costs between $140,000 and $160,000. It's tall, heavy, and commanding, a perfect contrast to the sleek Porsches. When Curry steps out of this vehicle, the message is clear. He's arrived. But luxury isn't always about height and bulk. Sometimes it's about comfort. Enter the Range Rover Autobiography. This SUV is built for quiet dominance. Plush leather interiors, advanced suspension, and effortless power make it ideal for daily movement without stress. Curry's Range Rover, often seen in autobiography or high-end sport trims, comes in at around $130,000 to $150,000. It's the kind of car you choose when you want everything to feel easy. Then comes the vehicle that fits family, status, and authority all at once. The Cadillac Escalade. Big, comfortable, commanding. The Escalade is a staple among elite athletes, and Curry's version, depending on trim, is valued at around $110,000 to $120,000. It's built for space, security, and presence. Perfect for moving through the city with family, friends, or teammates without sacrificing luxury. And now, the most surprising car in the garage. The Infiniti Q50. This is not a supercar. This is not flashy. And that's exactly the point. As part of his endorsement deal with Infiniti, Curry received a Q50 valued at around $35,000 when new. Despite owning cars worth 5 times as much, this is reportedly one of the vehicles he drives most often. It's low-key, practical, and invisible to paparazzi. For a superstar, that kind of quiet is priceless. Put together, Stephen Curry's car collection is worth well over $750,000. But its real value isn't the price tags. It's the intention behind each choice. Speed when he wants it, comfort when he needs it, presence when it matters, and simplicity when silence is the goal. Just like his career, Curry's garage proves one thing: you don't need to be loud to be legendary. After the engines cool and the garage doors slide shut, Stephen Curry doesn't retreat to noise or neon. He goes somewhere calmer, higher, more intentional. Because when you build a life worth hundreds of millions, your home isn't just shelter, it's sanctuary. And Curry's sanctuaries are just as refined as his game. The heart of it all sits in Atherton, California, one of the wealthiest zip codes in America, a place where privacy is the real luxury and silence is priceless. In 2019, Stephen and Aisha Curry purchased a massive estate here for around $31 million. The moment he bought it, headlines followed. Not because it was flashy, but because it felt earned. This Atherton mansion stretches across nearly 18,000 square feet, with 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and enough space to make even NBA-sized problems feel small. Outside, there's a championship-level basketball court, a resort-style pool, lush landscaping, and high security that keeps the world at a respectful distance. Estimated today, the property is valued closer to $35 to $40 million, reflecting how Atherton real estate rises like Curry threes, slow arc, perfect landing. This isn't just where he lives. This is where he resets. Before Atherton, there was Alamo, California. Back in the early rise of his dynasty years, Curry bought a sprawling mansion in Alamo for about $5.8 million. At the time, it was a major step, but not an overreach. The home featured 5 bedrooms, luxury finishes, rolling hills, and a quieter suburban elegance. As his career exploded, so did his horizon. In 2019, Curry sold the Alamo home for roughly $5.9 million, closing one chapter cleanly before opening the next. Then there's San Francisco. During the Warriors' peak era in the city, Curry also maintained a luxury condo in downtown San Francisco, purchased for approximately $2.25 million. Modern, sleek, and high above the streets, the condo matched the fast pace of championship seasons, close to the arena, close to business, close to everything. It wasn't meant to last forever. It was a pause between destinations. In recent years, Curry has also made strategic real estate investments in Southern California, including high-end properties connected to business and lifestyle expansion. While not all prices are public, estimates place these homes in the $10 to $15 million range, aligned with luxury developments rather than personal showpieces. Put together, Stephen Curry's real estate footprint easily surpasses $45 to $50 million in value. But again, it's not about the numbers. Unlike the mansions of louder stars, Curry's homes don't chase attention. They don't dominate skylines. They sit quietly, protected by trees and gates, designed for family dinners, recovery days, and early morning workouts away from cameras. Just like his jump shot, his homes are built on balance. Space without waste, luxury without noise, wealth without excess. From the low hum of a Porsche engine fading in the driveway to the stillness of an Atherton evening settling in, Stephen Curry's life doesn't end when the game does. It simply slows down. And in that silence, in those walls, is the real reward for changing the game forever. Stephen Curry's luxury isn't loud. It lives in the details. On his wrist, Curry keeps it elite. He's frequently seen in Rolex models like the Submariner and Datejust, watches that sit between $10,000 and $15,000. Timeless, reliable, unquestionable. When the moment demands more status, he upgrades to an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, a sharp-edged statement piece worth $40,000 to over $70,000. Shoes are personal for Curry. His Curry brand sneakers sell for $120 to $180 per pair. But the real luxury is ownership. Every sale feeds his fortune. Off the hardwood, he steps into designer trainers from Dior and Prada, often costing $800 to $1,500 a pair. His clothing matches that same quiet confidence. Custom suits and luxury jackets from brands like Louis Vuitton and Fear of God can run $3,000 to $6,000 per piece, while even his casual tunnel fits can quietly total $8,000 or more without trying to flex. Jewelry stays minimal but meaningful. Curry favors subtle gold chains, each valued between $10,000 and $25,000, paired with championship rings that cost over $150,000 each. Not because of diamonds, but because of history. Stephen Curry doesn't wear wealth to be noticed. He wears it because he's already arrived. In a world where fame fizzes out relationships overnight, Stephen Curry's marital status stands out. He's married to Aisha Curry, and they've been together long before the spotlight showed up. They met as teenagers in a church youth group, before MVPs, before championships, before millions. In 2011, Stephen made the decision that would anchor everything else. He chose his partner for life. While his career exploded, their relationship stayed grounded. No drama headlines, no public chaos. Just two people growing together while the world watched one of them change a sport. Stephen Curry isn't just married, he's steady. And that stability, quiet, constant, unshaken, is a huge reason everything else in his life works. Because greatness on the court is impressive, but consistency at home? That's rare. Unlike many other superstars, Stephen Curry's image is clean, but the debates around him aren't. He bent basketball's geometry, pulling up from deep and triggering purists who said he was ruining the game. He kept hitting, and the league adapted. He celebrates with joy, shimmies, smiles, the mouthguard chew, fueling talk of disrespect. He stayed himself and kept winning. He faced a real off-court hit with a high-profile crypto partnership that collapsed, dragging celebrities into lawsuits and headlines. He acknowledged the misstep and moved on. He heard the leadership doubts when injuries hit the Warriors and the dynasty dipped. He answered with a 2022 title and a Finals MVP. That's the Curry controversy arc. Change the game to catch the heat, to absorb it, to answer with results. And every time the noise swells, he does the same thing. Rise, release, swish. And when the lights fade and the crowd goes quiet, Stephen Curry's story doesn't end with the final buzzer. Because the real luxury was never just the mansions, the supercars, or the multi-million-dollar contracts. It was the patience to wait his turn, the belief to shoot when no one else would, and the courage to change the game, one shot at a time. From underestimated kid to global icon, from empty gyms to sold-out arenas, from doubt to dynasty. Stephen Curry's life is luxury not because of what he owns, but because he built a legacy no one can take away. And that's the kind of wealth that lasts forever. If this story inspired you, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because greatness leaves clues, and we're just getting started. See you in the next one.